Chào đón quý vị đang tiếp tục theo dõi chương trình Câu chuyện kinh doanh. Và thưa quý vị, chúng tôi vẫn đang trò chuyện với hai vị khách mời là bà Trần Thiên Trà, Chủ tịch Tổ chức Hỗ trợ Cộng đồng Doanh nghiệp Xã hội Việt Nam, và giáo sư Louis David Benjayer đến từ Đại học ESCP châu Âu và trường CFVG Việt Nam về khái niệm của doanh nghiệp xã hội. Và ngay bây giờ chúng tôi sẽ thảo luận nhiều hơn về những lợi ích của mô hình doanh nghiệp xã hội khi hoạt động trong thị trường. Welcome back again, Mr. Benjayer and Ms. Tra. So, Mr. Benjayer has given us some examples about SEs in the world. So, Ms. Tra, in Vietnam, can you give us more examples of many Vietnamese organizations that's operated as an SE?
In Vietnam, we have some successful case study of social enterprise, such as Koto Training Restaurant. They create a job for the youth, disadvantaged youth. Like they have a vocational program to train the skill, living skill, English skill, for children, and also from 16 and 22 years old. Another case is for the Mekong a Persian and French company in Vietnam. They also have some handicraft back covers of product, and they create job for unemployment women in the rural. Another is CED. They have a center of development, and they create job and training for the people with disability. And we have a Kim Việt in Hanoi. They also make the stuff for animals and toys that they create job for people with disability, like the people with hard of hearing, and they have a very good product. So most of the successful case that they apply, I see that they have a very good model, business model. The product, they have a core values of the product, and they do successfully and provide many beneficiaries a stable job and get better income, and change their life.
Okay, so clearly the benefits of SEs are, undeniable, right? But you've said before that there's still more obstacles that hinder the operation of an SEs. What do you think that we can improve in the law so that an SE can operate more successfully?
For the law, I think that the state can improve the register process to be faster and easier in reality. Also have a better implementation when they apply for the social enterprise to be recognized. And I think that the most support we need from the state and government, that they should have a social enterprise association, that they can support the social enterprise community for something like networking, and also have many training activities for the social entrepreneur, so that they can connect and they can improve their management skill.
Yeah, it's good, and because we can see that there are many associations that represent a lot of organizations and companies in other fields like agriculture or even manufacturing, in the wood production, or in the fish and agriculture industries. So, Mr. Benjayer, in globally, is there an association for SEs at all?
In France, there is at least one big one, which is the MOVES, Movement for Social Entrepreneurs, and it gathers several tens of such companies. There are some other initiatives in other European countries, and social companies, they gather, and it's starting to have kind of movement across those countries but there is nothing really formalized yet as a kind of European associations. For the moment, they are still national. But if I were to add something about the obstacles and what could help the development of those companies, I would say that we need entrepreneurs. Because the very first thing those companies address is entrepreneurship. And we know how hard it is to be an entrepreneur, not in a social field. So it's even harder to be an entrepreneur in a social business. So I would say that what would help is to have more and more entrepreneurs that start social business. And also what would help is to have more and more corporations that want to get involved into that kind of companies. That would be, in complement to what you said, things that would help those companies to get more numerous and also to get stronger.
So in other words, we need more people to do startups, right, in the social business. And since this has been there in the world, in many other countries, for more than a decade, like you've said before, what is the most important lesson that we learn from this kind of business model?
Actually, we learned lessons that are also observable in other fields of entrepreneurship. We learned that the faster you can go at the beginning, the better, so that you learn very rapidly what you are good at, what there is a market for, and how viable your business is. So the companies that grew, they didn't start big, they started small with a reduced impact at the beginning, and they learned in short cycles, and once they discovered their secret sauce, they started growing. So that's the first lesson. The second lesson is that, and you mentioned it previously, is management. It requires a certain skill set, a certain mindset to manage such companies. I'm not only speaking about top management or general managers, but also middle managers. It requires a very specific skill and mindset, because you do not operate a social business like a tech startup, for example. You need to act differently. And that's another lesson that we learned, is that it's another skill set people need to develop. And the final one is that in order for those businesses to sustain their impact and grow their impact, they need to partner. They need to partner one with each other, but they need to partner also with corporations. And that's the trend we are observing now, is that trend of partnerships between those kinds of companies that were looked at like in a zoo, special species that were really bizarre. And now corporations are more and more eager to develop partnerships with them.
Thank you. So, Mr. In Vietnam, we are really new, but have we learned the same lessons that Mr. Banyer had just given us?
Yes, I agree with him. I think that management capabilities are very important. Being social enterprise communities, I and my team also create many training activity and like mentoring and consultancy, so that we help to improve the management skill of middle manager in social enterprise. And the best way to improve the management skill, that they should invest in education and training program more and more in Vietnam. I think it's the best lesson that they could improve their organization better.
So the best way you said is that we should make it a course,
Yeah.
like on a program, like in a university, so that people would have a chance to study more about the definition of an SE, and as well as they can learn about the experience and how to manage an SE more effectively, right? Thank you very much, Mr. Banier and Ms. Zhao, for coming here today. So we've learned a lot from both of you about the definition of an SE and how it operates in the markets. Thank you very much again.
Thank you.
We wish both of you the very best health.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thưa quý vị, chúng tôi vừa mới trò chuyện với hai vị khách mời, đó là bà Trần Thiên Trà, Chủ tịch Tổ chức Hỗ trợ Cộng đồng Doanh nghiệp Xã hội Việt Nam, và giáo sư Louis David Bendier đến từ Đại học ESCP châu Âu và trường CFVG Việt Nam về khái niệm và cũng như mô hình của một doanh nghiệp xã hội. Và sau buổi trò chuyện hôm nay thì chúng ta thấy rằng đặc biệt là thị trường Việt Nam cần phải có nhiều hơn những doanh nghiệp xã hội để cùng lúc thực hiện những trách nhiệm xã hội và phát triển nền kinh tế. Cảm ơn quý vị đã theo dõi chương trình và chúng tôi sẽ hẹn gặp lại quý vị trong các chương trình tiếp theo.